I am looking real witchy today, which is very fitting for today's video because we're in the month of October and it is Halloween season. I decided to dress up in this billowy, meshy top and decided to look a little bit more goth because we're going to go through my Spooktober TBR. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about some spooky reads that I have planned for the month of October. So without further ado, let's keep watching. The first book that I have here for today is a Stephen King book. Last year I read Misery during this time. I don't know why I didn't pick up any more Stephen King books after that, but I didn't. However, this month I'm going to be diving right into another Stephen King book and it is going to be Carrie. I actually really like the 1976 movie adaptation of Carrie. This is apparently Stephen King's first ever published full-length novel, so that is exciting. I am actually so curious about Carrie. I've heard a lot of good things. I mean, I guess with a lot of Stephen King, I have come across some reviews that don't really like Stephen King in general, but some people I follow actually really like Carrie. So I am quite excited for this, and like I said, I really like the movie adaptation of it. So I'm hoping to really like this book. Yeah, Carrie, what can I say? I mean, I feel like it's pretty well known what Carrie's about, but if you don't know, it's following this girl called Carrie. She's kind of a quiet girl and she's also unfortunately in a household where her mother is extremely religious. So her overly protective mom keeps her on a very tight leash. She's basically not allowed to have fun at all. It is kind of a coming of age story, but in a very twisted manner. On top of being miserable at home, she's also kind of picked on by a few of the popular kids at school or the bullies. Everything seems to be falling apart until one day she discovers that she has telekinetic powers. I mean, this is a Stephen King novel, so it's safe to say insane things, crazy things, horrific things are going to ensue, and I'm really excited for it. Like I said, I really like the movie adaptation from the 70s, so hopefully this is gonna be just as compelling of a read for me. I really liked Misery. I wanted to read more Stephen King, and so Carrie, here we come. Okay, so the next book I have is the perfect read during October. It's a Junji Ito book and it is Frankenstein. This is clearly a manga. Junji Ito, as you know, is known for his iconically horrific looking illustrations, and Frankenstein, as you may or may not know, is one of my favorite classics. And so when I saw this and I was like, whoa, Junji Ito did an adaptation or like a reimagining. I have a feeling that is it completely the same Frankenstein story? Maybe it is, who knows, but I was like, okay, I'm into it. I love Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and also kind of combining that with Junji Ito's nightmarish illustrations. This might be a fun time. Also, like I said, it's a manga. It might be a bit more of a quicker read for me. I don't know, sometimes I take a while to read graphic novels and mangas, so who knows, this might actually take a while, but I have a feeling that I'm going to complete this relatively quickly. Fingers crossed. I'm super excited. I've actually never read anything by Junji Ito, but he's like legendary in the horror community. Everyone seems to love his stories. I hear that his stories are so bizarre, wacky, and also disturbing, and I've always been curious about it. I don't know why. When I first saw this at the bookstore, I was like, okay, out of all the Junji Ito books, I wanted to pick up this one first because, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Frankenstein and I just really wanted to dive into this one. So yeah, Junji Ito, look at this cover. It's so creepy, is it not? I'm actually quite excited to read this. I've owned it for quite some time now, so I guess October is finally the month that I'm going to be tackling this book. I do actually have another Junji Ito book. I think it's Uzumaki. That one shall be waiting for me in the future. Let's see how it goes with Frankenstein. This imagery here of Frankenstein, it's a little disgusting. I am very curious about this. Tell me in the comments below if you have read Frankenstein. I feel like not many people have talked about Frankenstein in particular for Junji Ito, so I'm kind of going into this one kind of blind. I mainly picked it up because I liked Frankenstein, so I have no idea if this is a good Junji Ito book or not, but look, this is where I'm gonna start. The next book is actually really short, and also it was on last year's Spooktober TBR, but I never got around to reading it. It is The Scarlet Plague by Jack London. I'm kind of disappointed in myself that I didn't get to read this last year because it's such a short book. It would not have been much of a commitment, but let's see if this year I get to it. I mean, we're going through somewhat of a plague situation here in real life, so do I want to subject myself to this? Yes, I do, because I'm a bit of a weirdo. This is a post-apocalyptic fiction, and it's basically set in a world that has already been ravaged by the Scarlet Plague, and then it's kind of following these characters in the aftermath of the destruction of civilization, and that's all I need to know. A post-apocalyptic book, sign me up. You know I love post-apocalyptic fiction, so this is right up my alley. And it's also very short, and hopefully I can get through this real quick in the month of October. Maybe I should start off the month with this, or Junjito, or Carrie. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to start off with because I really do want to read Carrie, but I also want to read The Scarlet Plague as well. We shall see. Hopefully I get to this one. This year it's gonna be read, hopefully in October. But if I don't get to it in October, I definitely want to finish it before this year ends. I'm pretty confident. I'm gonna be a bit more strict at sticking to my Spooktober TBR this year. This one's gonna get read. I'm determined. Let's see if I stick to it or not. You'll see in the October wrap up. Yes, The Scarlet Plague. I am quite positive I've had this for a very long time. So this is the year, this is the month, I'm gonna read it. Okay, so I've got another one from last year's TBR, but this year I really want to get this one read. It is Wilder Girls by Rory Power. I mean, this one, you know, beloved on BookTube. Well, actually, I have seen some people not liking this book, but mainly whenever I hear negative negative reviews on this, it's because people didn't like the body horror elements. I'm like, if anything, that intrigues me even more. Body horror? You know I love that stuff. So I'm actually very excited to read Wilder Girls. It's set on like an island or a little town, and this school ends up getting quarantined because there's some unknown virus that's spread throughout the school, and slowly but surely each of the students start to develop like mutations that kind of involve like botanical plants being infused and being mixed in with the humans, so like growth on their bodies. Just sounds kind of disturbing and gross. If anything, that sounds very unique, and I am very curious to see what sort of drama ensues inside the school that's being quarantined, and I just want to know what this virus is all about. Will it be explained? Will it be a little aloof? Who knows, but I'm very curious. Also, this cover, so beautiful. Was this on last year's Spooktober TBR? Maybe it wasn't. Wait, was it? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I had it. I mean, I've been meaning to read it for a while. Is it gonna be as disturbing and disgusting as people say on the internet? I'm very intrigued by this premise. If anything, I always like going into some stories without knowing too much about it. But hopefully I get this one read in the month of October as well. So I kind of felt like that would be kind of enough for 1 month. As you know, I'm not much of a fast reader, so 4 books seems to work well for me. But since I have 2 books here that I feel rather confident that I will finish quite quickly, I decided that I might add another book to this TBR. So this book is not a priority in the month of October, but if I do get all these read, then I will pick up this one. Again, this was on last year's TBR. It is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant, and I don't know if you know this, but I am a huge fan of Feed. It's one of my favorite zombie books because it takes sort of an interesting angle in a zombie apocalypse, and so I've always been curious to check other books by Mira Grant out. I think Mira Grant is a pen name. Now, Mira Grant is more popularly known as Seanan Maguire on BookTube because she is famous for the, what's that series called? The Every Heart a Doorway series. I don't think I've read any other books aside from Feed by her. So this will be the second one. This is dealing with killer mermaids or sea creatures in the Mariana Trench. So it's about a group of scientists, or wait, is it scientists or journalists? Anyway, a group of people go on this scientific expedition down into the Mariana Trench, and because we're going into the deep ocean, horrible things are gonna ensue if this cover says anything. I mean, it's got blood floating in the water. It does seem like it's gonna be quite terrifying. One of my biggest fears is like the deep sea, just because it's so like dark, scary, isolating, and it hasn't been really discovered. Most of the ocean hasn't been discovered, so there's probably like creepy things down there that we don't know about. It just scares me a lot. So in the month of October, I do want to be scared, and that is kind of one of my biggest fears. So let's see what Into the Drowning Deep is all about. I did hear a few mixed reviews about Into the Drowning Deep, which gets me a little bit concerned. I have faith in you, Mira Grant or Shauna Maguire. But yeah, I'm excited. So that is it, guys. This is my Spooktober TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have read any of these books, or if you're curious about any of these books, please let me know in the comments down below, and let's have a discussion about some of these stories. I can't wait to dive right into it. I am so excited for this. Oh my gosh, I'm so in the mood for some spooky reads. Even though down in the southern hemisphere it is the season of spring right now, I feel confused because I feel like it should be autumn right now with my, you know, witchy look, but who says we can't read some spooky stories when the weather is perfect outside? We shall see. Anyway, that is it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys are reading in the month of October. I'm very curious, and I do want to get some inspiration to add more spooky reads for the future. So please let me know what you recommend, and I guess I'll see you in my next video. Stay safe and happy reading. Bye!